Today, we are going to be talking episode 5 of the season 7 of the Kardashians. Now, just to dive into this, in the beginning of this episode, we're seeing that Kendall is competing at a horse race, right? She does like an alias, which makes sense, so that she can compete without there being, a whole bunch of drama, people crowding her and shit like that. Perfectly fine. The only thing that really stood out to me is how come she can throw out the word pussy, and I think it's really ugly. I think it's so ugly to me. That is an ugly word. But when Kris is like, "I'm Kris fucking Jenner," they bleep out fucking. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both ugly words. Even though saying the F word is probably one of my favorite things, like, well, I won't overdo it. It's just one of my favorite words to say sometimes. I try not to say it in front of my daughter, but sometimes I do slip up. But I don't know. I think the word pussy is so much uglier than the F word, in my opinion. What do y'all think? Am I wrong? Is it they're both equally ugly, or is one uglier than the other? Like, is the F word uglier than the P word to y'all? I don't know. I think if we're gonna bleep out one, then we should bleep out the other. Even though technically they're like, hey, pussy isn't really a curse word, but it's still ugly because it's not like you would want your child to come up to you and be like, yeah, just, pussy this, pussy that. Like, it's ugly. So why weren't they both bleeped out? I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. But it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think. So, in the previous episode, we know that Kim was fighting hard to get this Bible. They couldn't directly sell it to her because I guess through the courts it was already promised that it would be auctioned off. So of course, Kim had to send a representative with to the auction or to auction for it without using her name, so there wouldn't be no BS. And she was able to get the Bible. Woo, yay. That's good. I think that's a good thing. It's a family thing. It has sentimental value, you know, and I love how she gave it to Khloe. Especially because I mean, all the girls and Rob, they loved their dad. But it's been mentioned a lot, throughout all these years, from keeping up with the Kardashians to now, that Khloe was the closest with her dad, with Rob. Even though there has been a lot of questioning on whether he was her dad biologically, like, is he the one that donated that sperm? But you know what? He's the one who raised her. he she's he's the one that she called dad all of her life. That is her daddy. Daddy doesn't always make you the person by blood. It's the one who steps up, you know? And anyways, but I do like how while she's reading through the Bible and things like that, she's like, "Oh, the Bible." It's from both my dads, because there's always that rumor going around that Chloe belongs to OJ. One of them. So, but I'm glad that she's able to, like, laugh about it, like, whatever it is, what it is. I know who my dad is. Who cares? And I do love that we finally got a little bit of Kylie. She popped up for Easter, which is great because we didn't really see any of her in the previous episode, but we did see her here. So she was able to check out the Bible and everything like that. It was a very beautiful, lovey dovey moment that ended with a prayer. Okay. One thing that I did learn about that I didn't know is that their cousin Cece, who was cousin through their dad, Rob Kardashian, because that was his cousin, so of course it would be their cousin as well. I don't know if that would be like what, second cousin, whatever. She has this thing called the Kardashian Closet, which I think is super cool. So basically, they Kim was putting together, some clothes, taking whatever clothes she had, extras, beautiful garments. It's nothing that, is like, oh, this is all messed up, whatever. Let me just give this, to the homeless, these rags, of course it is being resold. I haven't checked out the website myself, the Kardashian Closet. If you have checked it out, please let me know. Is it worth it or not? I'll probably try to check it out after this lovely Critics Collective episode just to see what I see. But let me know your opinions about it. Is it worth it? But I do love that Kim is trying to contribute to helping her cousin Cece, who loves fashion, you know, and she's, of course, yes, she is a Kardashian, but she's not famous like, the Kardashian Jenner clan. So the fact that she's helping to contribute, I thought that was really, really sweet. The funny thing is, though, how they mention while she's collecting these clothes and Chloe is there with her, how they're like, yo, Kris is a liar. They show different times that Kris lies, and it's about stupid stuff. And I'm telling you, I think it all ties in together with her need for control, her OCD, her anxiety, these little like stupid white lies that she tells. It's weird to me, and I I think it's a little embarrassing because it's like, it's on national TV, like, and you're supposed to be this big businesswoman, and it's like if you're giving these little light white lies to your own kids, like, who else you lying to? Like, it's really, really silly. I'm hoping it's just on little things just to be silly with her kids and family, and that's just not that it doesn't pour into every aspect of her life, because it was giving, like, extremely compulsiveness to me, like, you're being a compulsive white liar. And I don't mean her skin white, I mean, like, white lies, little white lies, however that got that title. But, you know, like, I think it's weird. It's weird to lie about stupid minor things like that. It's different if you just don't say anything because 'cause you're like, "You know what? I don't wanna be in the middle of it. I'm just not gonna mention it." I mean, even though people say you're lying through omission, but there's a little bit of a gray area because it's like, I didn't lie, I just didn't get involved. Or I didn't lie to you, I just didn't mention it because it ain't none of your fucking business. There's a difference. But it is what it is. And last but not least in this episode that kind of stood out to me was when Kim went over to Kourtney's house to give her input. She was kind of paying attention, but she really wasn't paying attention. So it's like, motherfucker, why are you here to help me if you're not gonna really look at what I'm showing you and answer my questions? It's annoying. But what I thought was really weird is that when they started talking like about serious stuff and Kim's trying to have a deep conversation, especially about the hit that was on her life, um, which thank God ended up being, BS. Court out of nowhere mentions, "Hey, have you ever had butter dates with sea salt?" What? Like, I'm talking about the fact that someone wanted to kill me. You're my sister. You'd think you'd have more concern about that. But her response is like, sometimes when I just get bored with hearing about other people's lives, I'll just mention whatever. I'm just in my own little bubble, with my baby. Yes, we all know you had a baby. I've had a baby. We all know about the pregnancy brain or the mom brain. Even after you give birth, you're still a little retarded after the fact. But I really doubt that even if I would have just had a child and I'm still breastfeeding it, if my sister were to come up and say, "Hey, listen, this is what's going on. Uh, I'm a little fearful for my life because such and such and such." I would take that conversation seriously. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're just trying to live your life and somebody's like, "You're famous, so I want you dead." Oh, okay. Damn. Take a Xanax. I'm just saying. Calm it down. But I really think at that part of the conversation, Courtney was being a little bit of a butthole. Like, just a little bit, just a little bit. Like, "Oh, they're gonna kill you? Don't care. My baby." Like damn, bitch. Like, I'm talking about somebody trying to kill me. Like, care a little bit. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me know your thoughts on this past week's episode. Do you think that basically the conversation Kim Courtney had, how do you feel about that? Please comment down below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.